Hello, and welcome to the very first Unclench Crew Podcast, where we let it all hang out. Welcome, I'm your host, Jinelle B. Welcome to my channel, where I still will be posting personal videos, updates on life, but here for the podcast, which so far I'm committing to at least twice a month, because, well, we'll see how this goes. Mostly we'll see how I go. Anyways, here we will be discussing things that make us clench and how to unclench that. The whole idea behind Unclench Crew actually came to me one night when I was drunk. I put this in my notes and I was like, unclench on a sweater sounds hilarious. But that also stemmed from earlier in the night when I was not drunk and realized that, when my jaw hurts, when I start to chew and I hadn't eaten anything in a while, that's not normal. I said to a coworker, oh man, my jaw hurts. You know when your jaw has to re-loosen up from you haven't chewed anything in a while? And they go, what? Yeah. Then I realized, oh, that's stress-induced. And I only realized that about a year after already being on Prozac and going through, or was it? It might have been before Prozac. Either way, I was starting to get help. Therapy is great. I'm still seeing a psychiatrist, and I highly recommend you get some help for yourself too. I'm currently using Talkiatry, which I will link down below. So not a sponsor. If they would like to pay for my visits, that'd be great, because I'm currently uninsured, because I'm just a living on the edge millennial over here. We're also going to be talking about, so we got mental health, finances, your physical health. I am not a doctor, but I will be discussing things that I've come across and talk about them openly and things that have helped me, and we'll have people on to talk about all these different things, especially with finances. There's a lot of things I've been using to help ease the crush of the world that we've been going through. Some of those are apps that I use for rebates on my shopping with receipts. I will link a bunch of that below. Also, the number one thing that has blown my mind for making money online has been JoinBrands, which I will link my affiliate link below. Again, they're not necessarily sponsoring me. It's just, I use them. I have an affiliate link, and that link also benefits me too. Same with most of the things that I'm leaving down there. Also, I will link the Instagram for Unclench Crew. The crew has got you, and you are also your own crew. I'm really excited about this project. It is not fully launched yet. I do have the Amazon store secured. I do have a supplier for these. I'm working with a local embroidery company to do these. I will have embroidered versions and also screen print versions as well. Things eventually with short sleeves, just long sleeve, not sweaters, things like that. But I do love my sweater. Ever since I started putting forth the idea of Unclench, it's really helped. It's really helped me. I've been told by my friends it's already been helping them to remember Unclench. It really is essentially rebranding Relax, which I'll give credit to my fiance. I'll link his TikTok and Instagram below. That's what he had called it. There's so many times where somebody says to you, relax, or you just need to relax. What does that mean? And to somebody that has chronic anxiety, having a bad spout of anxiety, what does that mean? And if anything, that makes everything worse. Unclench gives you something to do. When I unclench, it honestly feels like it's starting from my face and then deepening into my body. It is great for wrinkles, because you're not like this all the time. Keep that face young. It is great for your jaw. I have had insane TMJ I even had a little episode, I think in 2018, I believe, or 2017, where, so you can see my ear. It was puffed out so much that you couldn't see my ear. That's how bad the inflammation got, from just, from, from clenching. Don't do this. Do this. And also too, nobody likes hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are not fun. They're not great. If you have them, please take care of them. I did just finish listening recently to Leslie Jones's audiobook, and she did go in detail about how she finally took care of her hemorrhoids, and I'm so happy for her. That is what a journey to go through, and it's incredible how much pain people put themselves through, including myself. There's been many times in my life where there's been physical pain or emotional pain that I'm like, just ignore. People can have such a strong survival mode. And here's my cat, my indoor cat, that I don't know if he could survive on his own out in the world. He's such a big boy. Say hi, Frecky. Meow. Oh, he's shy. If you hear little pitter patters, those are my cats. I'm a stepmom to them. They were my fiancés, and I've graciously have also taken them in. Pets are a great way to unclench, and if you don't want pets, maybe go to a zoo, go outside safely. We will also talk about exploring the outside in a safe way, because there's been times where I've tried to go out for a walk as a woman, and I get really nervous about the folk that I see sometimes. Yeah. There's so many things to talk about. There's so many things in this world, and that's very fortunate for this podcast. There's so many things in this life that make you clench. And we're going to talk about how to unclench. A big thing that I ended up listening to, which ended up being a spark for me to just start doing this. I listened to Mel Robins Podcast last night, which I had no idea that she's from, or at least like raised her kids in Massachusetts, which I'm Boston born, and then they went to Vermont, so that was kind of cool to geographically we're similar. The part that the whole concept of her podcast that I was listening to, which I'll leave below if I didn't already say that was captivating to me, because I was finally hearing somebody else say what I'm been talking about for years with friends and family and myself in another way. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, and it is hard to talk about because it's an incredibly hard concept to grasp. She puts it as the let them. Okay, Frecky, he is going ham on a fish toy. He's so cute. Anyways, the let them approach. Letting go. That is all with letting go. She gave a great example of a situation happening, and she was like, I don't think it's best to do it that way, blah, 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 blah. And her daughter goes, well, it's their event, let them. And she goes, I didn't realize like how much of a grip and control I was trying to have over that. There are many things that we make ourselves white knuckle through that we really don't have to, and that is hard to tell ourselves, especially when we are currently going through something tragic, just annoying, abrasive. It's very difficult to tell yourself in the moment to just chill out, things will be great, But that's not what what we're really saying when it comes to that. For me saying to unclench and her saying let them, we're not just saying, oh, just let it go, blah, blah, blah. It's talking to yourself. Eventually reasoning with yourself. That takes time. That takes the will to want to do that. It is so easy to be in a place of scarcity, fear, and survival. That is where most of us are pretty much at this point. We don't know where to go, who to trust. What we can read is, what's going on. And that makes us all very tense. We see it all the time. People are having unbridled rage. People, the Karens or whatever. There's so many things. People just cutting people off and not even talking about things. Sometimes you gotta cut people off, but we will talk about that another time. It just leads to so much tension, and then other people don't feel safe going places, which I completely understand. Things be crazy out in the world because we're freaking crazy. We're driving ourselves mental. Before we had social media and everything, which is just not a talk about, anti-social media. No, that would make no sense. I'm literally talking to you right now. Via the internet. We didn't know everything that was going on. We didn't know that all these people died. We didn't know that all these tragedies happened. We didn't know that plastics was in our water and it's potentially killing us. We didn't know that different areas of the United States have extremely dangerous living conditions due to electrical plants and stuff around them. Maybe not electrical, but there's things. Not to get conspiracy theory, but that's thanks a lot of the times to the internet. We have a really hard time filtering that out when we're already dealing with a lot in our own personal life. Being able to, oh my God, can you guys not? Cats. Anyways, oh my goodness. So when it comes to unclenching, letting things go, let them, it is trying to discuss with yourself that there is nothing that you can do about a situation and finding comfort in that, which sounds oxymoron, if you will. How do you find comfort in knowing that there's nothing that you can do? Comment below what that means to you, because most likely that means, what? Am I just ignoring? Am I just gonna package it up and put in my mental closet and shut the door and never look at it? No. We acknowledge. We go through the pain. We go through what is happening. Allow yourself to grieve if need be. And then there are certain times when you're honest with yourself and you're allowing yourself to do that, the more you practice understanding how you're feeling and what different scenarios, once you're heightened with a scenario and you recognize, I'm heightened by this, I'm either anxious, I'm scared, whatever, it's bringing back a past traumatic situation. Now that we're starting to talk about this, think about why that is. What is happening? Maybe write it down. Just check in with yourself. The more you check in with yourself when you're having these heightened emotions, the more you'll be able to notice them. Okay, that's kind of like our first step. Notice what's going on around you. You don't have to keep pushing so hard all the time. That's kind of really, I guess, the first step, is to understand what's going on within you. And that first starts with checking in on yourself. What is happening? You can even think of when you're not stressed. If you're trying to have a moment to work on yourself and you think of maybe a past experience that kind of maybe comes in your head every now and then, you still don't feel good about it, write it out. Breathe. You need to breathe. I recently heard that, I think on the Andrew Huberman podcast, that is when the diaphragm goes down, that's when your heart has more room, and that's what lowers your heart rate as you breathe. I have a tracker on me for my steps, and it's blown my mind how high my heart rate used to be. I remember being at work when I was waitressing, and I was like, oh, my heart rate's at 130. And I'm just like standing there. My coworkers go, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know, I guess so. Yeah, my resting heart rate is actually like, I think it's like 75 or something like that. So check back on that. Okay. We'll also eventually talk about ADHD because I am formally diagnosed, and that's another wild ride. Check in with yourself. Talk to yourself. You live with you 100% of the time. Even if you're doing drugs, you are still living with you. That moment that you can take to yourself to just think about what's going on, not learning to maybe slow down responses. I used to go to camp, summer camp, and one of my favorite, if not the favorite counselor I had, he said to us, he goes, guys, if you ask me a question and I pause for a moment, it's not that I think your question was stupid or that I'm judging you or that I just didn't hear you. I just would like to make sure that I heard you properly and I'm going to have the correct response. That's an example of a man that has probably been asked, what's that face for? He's had to talk to himself about that. Recognize that this is something he does. He knows that for himself that there's a benefit, and he can communicate that with other people. The older you get, the better you will be at that. They say your brain's fully fused at 25. Well, I don't know. For me, from 25 onward, I'm now 29. I can still feel my brain cells fusing. It's great. My critical thinking skills are much better. I do feel, now that I'm exiting my 20s, I feel a lot more comfortable with myself as a person. I feel closer to who I was when I was growing up. I feel a lot more kinship to who I was when I was growing up, and I'm still growing. Everybody's growing. I feel a lot better. Your 20s are not the best time of your life. If I was told that for a long time, oh my god, what a lie. But there are 1,001 lessons that you can learn from getting through your 20s. I am already almost at the other side of my 20s. In a few months I will be 30, and what a celebration that will be. Frecky just decided to walk around the tripod. Thank you, buddy. So yeah, we're going to start with that. Just talk to yourself. Check in. Slowly become your own best friend. If you have a panic attack, if you have an anxiety attack, if you have a quick moment of a fast reaction that you wish you didn't have, don't beat yourself up. Some people need to start with that first. We put a lot of criticism on ourselves, and sometimes that can translate into criticizing other people. When you point a finger at somebody else, we got 3 pointing at you unless you point like a Spice Girl. So, keep that in mind. We will laugh. We hopefully won't cry. I've already cried on this channel before anyways, so, yeah. We will also talk about just things I've kind of learned in therapy. Also, I learned when I was in therapy that I am a quote queen. There were so many times that my therapist was like, "Can I write that down?" Uh, so who knows what gems we will get from this for sure. This episode is going to be a little short. Eventually, I will be interviewing entrepreneurs, interviewing people that are pros or becoming pros in their field, and just kind of anybody. We all need to unclench. We all put barriers up, and we need to be aware of that. How can I get away from that, or how can I do something differently to open up a new door for myself? When one door closes, another one will open. But will we see it? I don't know. Will we have the confidence to open the door? I don't know. Imposter syndrome? Let's work through that. You have to talk to yourself. Being so aware of yourself can be such an extreme burden, and you need to talk to yourself. Show yourself some love. Go outside. Smell the air, which I haven't even been outside yet today. I am starting the process of building a house and everything. It's a big, big change. But I take things into account. Why am I feeling anxious? Did I take my meds today? Did I take my meds yesterday? Have I drunken any water? Do I maybe need to yell into a pillow? Do I need to maybe say my favorite swear word a few times? Do I need a CBD gummy? Let's find out. Work on this together. When you're on a crew team, you all have to be in sync to work your best. Your body cannot work its best. They're playing with a gnome. When you're out of sync. And there is no way for at least the human body to always be working perfectly. When you are playing a sport, rowing in crew, things happen. I don't know, maybe you hit a fish. Sometimes there's just a fish in your way. Maybe one of your cohorts gets crapped on by a seagull. Things are gonna happen. You cannot get mad at yourself for being crapped on. You cannot be mad at the bird for crapping on you. You can feel the rage and the annoyance. Let that pass. Acknowledge it. But let that pass. Remember to unclench. It is good for your psyche, for not creating wrinkles. It is good for your heart. I'm pretty sure that heart disease is the #1 killer. Good for your jaw, which make sure you take care of your teeth because that can lead to heart disease if you have gingivitis and stuff. Check my YouTube channel for previous videos on gingivitis and the journey I went through that. It is good for your digestive system. I mean, it just goes down your whole body. It's good for your, I guess technical term would be anus. Unclench your holes. Unclench the whole, WHOLE. Don't keep it tense. You will get tense. That is okay. You cannot control most things. Make plans and hear God laughing. Have the intention of something good happening when the bird craps in your head. Be open to pivot. Be aware that a bird can crap on your head. Be open to pivoting. And that is my message here for you today. We're going to breathe in. And out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be leaving everything linked below. Unclench merch is coming soon. And yeah, I've been wearing it pretty often, and I get some looks that mostly just go, or people that are like, what school is that? It's fun. Makes me LOL. Bye.